from Vancouver. Got my cup of joe in hand. Nice Totoro shirt. Ghirardelli chocolate squares. Hello, Alma. Good morning, but not every day. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ah, nice. Avocado toast. Avocado toast. Avocado toast. Avocado toast. Cookies for breakfast. 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 Nice. Oh, wow. We got two people consuming avocado toast. Ah, amazing to see everyone dropping in. Welcome to the first episode of Cup of Joe, the only the only live streaming show hosted by me, Joe Kye, every Saturday morning. Wholesome, all ages fun for young and old to tune in to kind of gather themselves. Yeah, do a little bit of gathering. Before we move forward, a moment of gratitude, something I'd like to do for every future episode from here on out. I am grateful for everyone doing work to destroy racism, whether that's difficult conversations about anti-racism with family, marching in protests, organizing protests, challenging injustice at work or at school, and perhaps most importantly, looking inside yourself to find your own biases, your own racisms, and then to uproot it at its source. So thank you so much for doing that work. Let's keep going. We have people tuning in on Facebook Live. Hello. We have people tuning in on YouTube. Hello. Yeah, please keep commenting. I love this. Evan wants you to say stinky, smelly foot. Here, hold on a sec here. Fresh and clean. It smells so good. Awesome. Today's first episode, this episode, the theme is storytelling. So the power of storytelling, especially in times such as these. I have as a wonderful special guest, Sharon Nyree Williams, who is going to wave.
Hey.
That. Bam. Cool. Sharon will be back, I promise. She is so wonderful. She will hit you right here, and then the flames will rise, and then you'll be like, yeah. So more of that. Before we get on with the show, you see Venmo link and a PayPal link. Please support this program. Giving generously will help me to make sure that this program continues, that we have awesome guests, and that we can make this a real continuous, sustainable thing. So yeah, I really appreciate your generosity. So storytelling, we're going to start with a story. So my name is Joe, for those of you who don't know, and I moved here from Korea at the age of 6, lived in Boston for 2 years, and then I moved to Seattle. So second grade, I was in ESL, and then I was done with the ESL, and here we are in Seattle. All the people in Seattle, Sharon's from Seattle actually. It's dark. We get there in fall, so it's like dark. It's rainy all the time. I have no friends. And I'm a little lonely, lonely chubby Joe Kye. And I think it was at church. I see, a group of people my age, and I went up to them and I was like, okay, here we go. Like, this is your chance to make some friends. And I said, oh man, I love the Mariners. And of course they burst out laughing, like hopefully you are at home. And of course then they also made fun of me, which made me very sad, because here I was really trying to make a connection, but I made a mistake, because of course I made that mistake, right? Marine layer, the Marines. It's like Mariners. So of course that should be pronounced the Mariners. But no, it's the Mariners. Yeah. The moral the moral of that story is that we all make mistakes. That the heart, at least little third grade Joe, the heart was there to make that connection, to prove something, but the knowledge was not. And I think that story came to me as I was starting to think about many of us who are having some difficult conversations around race. And then also, I think those of us who are not black or brown people, trying to figure out how can we participate and how can we, take part in destroying racism. There's a fear, there's a heart, right? Like we really want to connect. But there's also like nervousness that we're going to say the wrong thing. But mistakes are really important. That's how we gain knowledge. And I think the more that we assure ourselves of our own intentions, and then go out into the world and make those mistakes, and then of course, instead of being defensive, being eager to learn and to educate yourself, I think that's how we have to move forward. So this song, for those of you who aren't familiar, it's about mistakes. Please sing along. The lyrics are, I've made mistakes, so have you. I make mistakes, so do you. I've made mistakes, so have you. I'll make mistakes, so will you. All right, so yeah, sing loud, because there's no one around that can hear you. Except your own family. And with your family, you can fart in front of your I do that too. So, if you sing out of tune, great. We'll laugh at it in that safe space. So, here we go. Oh, waiting for live video. There we go. Okay, here we go. ESL. I see you, Mona. Yes, it's Saturday, Daniel. And Wayne, we've all made mistakes. Here we go. I've made mistakes, so have you. I make mistakes, so do you. I've made mistakes, so have you. I'll make mistakes, so will you. La da 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 do da da. La da 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 do da 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 da. La da 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 do da da. La da 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 do da 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 da. go, sing. I've made mistakes, so have you. I make mistakes, so do you. I've made mistakes, so have you. I'll make mistakes, so will you. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. All right. Speaking of mistakes, let's change stuff up here. Let's try the recorder here. Let's sing another verse. Here we go. I've made mistakes. Ha! I've made mistakes, so have you. I make mistakes, so do you. I've made mistakes, so have you. Mariners! I'll make mistakes, so do you. I don't see color. I've made mistakes, so have you. I make mistakes, so do you. Bam. Nice. Yes, Chelsea, I would love to come by Seattle. I actually had a show scheduled there at Connor Byrne before the quarantine happened. So you can always sign up on my mailing list, which is at joekye.com/joinjoe, and you can stay up to date on upcoming performances. So yes, Wayne, singing while taking a bath, the best. Yes, Sophie, yeah. Artslandia, tuning in. Thank you so much. All right. Evan wants to know what animal that is behind you. That is a wombat. It's made by an artist here in Portland, Oregon, named Mike Bennett, who is an awesome artist. He may or may not be a guest on this show in the future. Okay, I want to specifically welcome all of the young viewers out there. Hello, young viewers. There is a little, in Cup of Joe, which is supposed to be all ages. I really wanted to make sure that we made space for our young viewers. So I'm gonna have a kids corner where I either read stories or maybe make up a song or whatever the case may be. I have one request that already was given to me by Evan, who is a 5-year-old here in Portland, Oregon. It's a beautiful song. It's one of my favorites, actually. So I'm really thank you so much, Evan, for for recommending that I sing that song. For all of the young viewers out there, now would be the time. You can type, or maybe you can get your adult to type, what do you want me to do in Kids Corner in the future? Is it like eat a bunch of mac and cheese? Actually, don't do that because then I'll fart a lot. Or is it make up a song about farts? Whatever the case may be, please give me some recommendations. Give me some requests and suggestions for what I should do in Kids Corner. So while you do that, I'm going to sing this song. Here we go. Thanks for the suggestion, Evan. Here we go. Ooh. Way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. You dream of dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, why can't someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dare to, why can't All right. That's a mandolin, by the way. I think one of the common questions that I've had from viewers, young viewers especially, is like, what instrument are these things? This is a mandolin. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different strings. I have an electric violin. That's what I was playing earlier. You have a guitar, a keyboard, a looping machine. Down here, I have all my pedals. I don't know if you can see my feet here moving back and forth. And of course, this is my favorite instrument, the kazoo. All right, here we go. Sharon Nyree Williams. She is a good friend of mine based in Seattle. I've had the honor of working on her with two different projects. And she is so inspirational. Like I said before, everything, when she speaks, when she performs, there's this warm fire that starts like bubbling up inside. So I'm really really happy to have her as my first guest. So at home, please give a warm round of applause for Sharon Nyree Williams.
Nice. Hi, good morning. I'm good. How are you? That's what's up. Congratulations on the new endeavor. Okay. How do I identify myself? Uh, Black woman, storyteller, creative, arts administrator, auntie, entrepreneur, lover of humanity. Right. Ah, wow. Um, this memory came up this in the last few weeks, so I think it might be the earliest. Getting up in the middle of the night, and going and climbing in the middle of my parents into their bed. And I can remember when they told me
Hmm.
no, like I was in mid stride coming up to bed, and my dad was like, no. And then I just slowly backed out like I was never there. And I never went
Oh
back.
no.
Yeah.
There's something about your parents' bed that it's like, right?
It's the best bed in the house.
Uh, but not because
Always.
of like the physical bed,
No, because it's theirs.
right? And you like you that's the nest, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, uh, let's find that nest. um, yeah. Okay. Thank you for that earliest memory. We are about to perform together, right?
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
people were saying that they can't hear me, and it's because I didn't have audio. Oh, okay, Joe is back. Great. So yes, I'm back. So yes, would you like to introduce? Would you like to introduce the piece that we're about to do together?
Yes. The piece is entitled The Fierce Urgency of Now. I wrote it a few years ago when I was asked to perform at Seattle University's Martin Luther King Day service celebration. And so it is now on the my latest album, Shook, which is a storytelling plus music album. And it is also in my play, Dare to Claim the Sky. So I hope everyone likes it.
Yes. I realized that I don't have the lyrics, but that's totally fine. I'm just gonna wing it because that's how we do it. Is that
Okay,
okay?
that's what's
Okay.
up.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's
All right.
cool. That's cool, cool,
Let's do
cool.
this.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "We are now faced with the fact that tomorrow is today. We are confronted with the fierce urgency of now. In this unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is such a thing as being too late. This is no time for apathy or complacency. This is a time for vigorous and positive action." Kings and queens, first we must pay homage to our change agents of America. Ancestors rise, ancestors rise, ancestors rise. As the waves of the river tide brought us here, the shackles of the past must be broken. Learn from the fight, and thy will be done. It is no longer them beating us, but us beating them. No straps needed, no shackles can hold us. The breaking of the backs for them is done, as we break our backs for the truth to not be undone. We can no longer allow them to nail us to the cross, but for us to make our own crosses to bear. Bear the cross for the brothers and sisters who stand in the fight for justice. Bear the cross for the children who deserve to thrive. Bear the cross for the crossless, whose voices have been silenced, or the whispers of those who they refuse to hear. We shall no longer sit and wait. We will no longer travel through the Underground Railroad. We will no longer be ashamed to speak the truth. We will no longer quote the past without steadfast action. Keep hope alive. Jesse Jackson. I have a dream. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Courage is the most of all virtues. You can't practice courage without the most important one. Dr. Maya Angelou. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. Bob Marley. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. James Baldwin. Give me a place to stand and I shall move the earth. Tuna Akbi. There is no struggle, there is no strength. Oprah Winfrey. Healing begins where the wound was made. Alice Walker. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. President Barack Obama. If you've never been down, then you will never know how to get up. My grandmother. The pulse of America. The climate is one of hatefulness and vengeance, but like the good book says, vengeance is mine. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. You may kill my brothers, but you will not kill my soul. You may try to limit my capacity, but my capacity is limitless. You may thrive on my pain, but my pain is no more. We are no longer crying to be heard. We are fierce in fighting for justice. We are fierce in fighting for education.
Yes.
We are fierce in fighting for gender equality.
Yes.
We are fierce in fighting for health care. We are fierce in fighting for the rights of immigrants. We are fierce in fighting racism. We are fierce in fighting for love.
Yes.
We are fierce in fighting for an America we can be proud of. We are fierce.
Yes. Please, at home, give it up for Sharon Nyree Williams. Yes.
Together again.
Woo!
Wow.
Even the screen, it can't stop us, you know?
Can't stop, won't stop.
No. Oh man, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, Sharon. Oh,
Thank
you give me
you.
goosebumps
Thank
every
you.
time, you know?
Even though I must admit, I totally, because we are
Mm.
live, totally screwed up the quote to Dr. Maya Angelou because of my
Uh,
notes. So let me get it
uh.
right. Courage is the most important of all virtues
Hmm.
because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue
Hmm.
consistently. I had all kind of notes on my paper, so I went all over the
Hmm.
place. But love her,
Yes.
no disrespect.
No. I think mistakes are cool. The intention is there. I
Yeah,
mean, there's something really communal about that piece. At the end, where you declare our fierceness, I think, especially like I said in the beginning, when people are kind of like, even the like, we're progressive people are like, oh, like, I don't know how would, to instead just lean into fierceness.
yes,
It's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an easy road,
Mm-mm.
and so you have to wear that on your shoulders and across your chest and be like, "Yo, I'm gonna do what I have to do to make the world a better
Mm.
place."
With ferocity.
I
Ah!
gotta put that on a t-shirt.
Yes, with
Ferocity.
ferocity. Oh man. I have another question for you. So storytelling, like why is storytelling important for you?
Legacy,
Hmm.
history, um, but I started telling stories because I felt as though I missed. I live in Seattle. My family lives in North Carolina, and I miss all the family gatherings around the table and listening to the stories.
Hmm.
And when I am home for those moments, I notice that nieces and nephews aren't. They can check out on their cell phones or their iPads, and or they can go in another room and play a game. Whereas when we was little, we had to sit there and listen.
Hmm.
And so I tell the stories for my nieces and nephews, and in hopes that I change the world by bringing people closer together by learning more about one another.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that specific element of like the content of the stories is important too, right? I mean, you're
Yeah.
bringing people around, but I guess, yeah, that's a question that I have for you. I gotta get better at interviewing. Is well, like,
You
what
will.
about the content of your stories themselves? Like, where do you find yourself going, and why is that important, especially in a time like this?
Uh, I find it in my
Hmm.
heart. I find it in my soul, even though right now, I kind of question if I'm a soul or am I just numb walking in
Hmm.
space. But yeah, I tell personal stories. I tell from personal experiences. Whether it's about social issues like racism or I've told stories about homelessness, things of that nature. But I also tell stories about the mistakes I've made and the things that I've learned. And so um, it all comes from. I can't tell a story if it doesn't come from within me.
Hmm. Lover of humanity.
Yes.
Yeah. We were talking about earlier when we were sound checking, we were talking about statistics, right? And like that data is super important too. But I think for us to look within ourselves and make a personal change, like having that emotional connection via story is so important.
Yeah, because it's like you watch the news, but the news is the news,
Mm,
right? It's
mm,
like here is what is happening to you, and then but story, you can actually allow people to see how what aspects of it they can relate to.
mm,
They might not relate to every
mm,
aspect, but they can relate to certain aspects. Like you can relate to me having a niece and
mm,
nephew,
mm,
or you can relate to me feeling like I talk about depression, right?
mm.
You can relate you may be able to relate to aspects of being depressed that you didn't even know that you had in your
Sure.
life. And so yeah, and you can relate to my joy and you can relate to my pain.
Yes.
You all there. So that's what I love about stories, is you can put people in the
Uh,
moment.
yeah. Well, when I have collaborated with you every time, I feel that energy and I feed off of that. It's so beautiful how you do that. It's also like it's very inspirational for me, to have collaborated on those projects with you. Your solo show as well as your album, your most recent album, and it's been inspirational not only for the creativity but your leadership, how you kind of like gather people around you to create something, and then of course your justice work as well. So I'm curious if you have any words of advice for young and old people, uh, about people who are interested in art and justice work. Yeah, especially given the current visibility of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Um, I would say first, like, take on the responsibility yourself and don't try to put it on somebody else to help teach
Mm,
you. So read books, watch interviews, watch movies, use all those resources to get to know, and then have those conversations. Start out with having those conversations with your family so you know what questions you have and if you don't have, and then find someone and be very genuine in who you are. The whole thing about leadership and telling stories and building relationships, and one of the things I think that we've cut off as leaders that lead people is the relationship part, right?
mm.
Oh, I sent a text out to my I sent an email out to my team the other day and I said I love you, and then I said, oops, I don't think I'm supposed to say that to the team that I work with. But oh
Huh.
well, I'm not that person.
Uh,
So being unafraid to really dig in, having relationships and getting to know people, know who your team is and know who you're working with. And then don't just show up saying, please, I'm trying to do better for myself. It's all about me, but it's all about what you're trying to do for the world.
mm,
You be yourself at home. You do for yourself at home and reading and learning and
mm,
trying to digest. But when you go out, engage with people, you're doing that hopefully for the community.
mm. Thank you. I will take that advice as well. um, so we have a fun little corner thing. One of the things that I want to do on this show is also to highlight local Portland businesses that I personally enjoy a lot. And so I have this. This is my favorite hot sauce right now. I'm a super big fan of hot sauce. It's stinging kombucha hot sauce. And I sent one to Sharon. Sharon's got one. Yes. Um,
Really?
I think it's available in New Seasons online, but it is in like it's kombucha. It's live culture. So it's like where the cheese and the tofu is. So, yeah, just FYI. And then I asked Sharon what her favorite hot sauce was. And so I have some Texas Pete, or
Aha! North Carolina represent.
original hot sauce right here. It's original hot sauce, like not
Original hot
not any
sauce.
knockoff. So we're gonna do a little taste test here on some crackers. Do a couple of drops here. Is it super spicy, Sharon, or is it kind of chill, or what do you think?
That one is kind of. I think. Are we starting with Texas Pete or are we starting with kombucha?
We can start with the kombucha.
Cool. Now, what am I supposed to expect in this?
I think you're just gonna taste it, and then you can tell me your reaction. All
Okay,
right,
here we go.
hot
And
sauce exchange.
my all right.
Here we go. Three. Cheers.
Cheers. Phew.
Mm.
It goes straight to the hot taste buds. Sorry, Duchess is here because she loves crackers.
Mm.
Say hi. Duchess loves crackers,
Hi, Duchess.
so she's going to get her cracker. Um. Oh my goodness,
Mm.
it's hot. It's really hot. It really thrives throughout the tongue. Um, it's like, um, yeah. Let me eat another cracker.
Yeah,
Calm myself
you're right. Actually, it sneaks up on you. I think I found it a little sweet too. Like it's it definitely leans kind of sweet, hot, and a little tangy, but not like Tabasco where it's like like acid.
No,
Yeah.
it has a much better taste than tobacco,
Oh,
and it has a good taste to it.
nice.
So I can see this. You don't have to use a lot.
No, 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 no. Well, I do, but
Yeah, yeah, you have those. Yeah, but
yeah.
that's good. I
Okay.
like that.
Texas Pete.
Texas Pete.
Texas Pete. Here we go.
So in the
Cheers.
South, wait a minute, let me get it on my
Oh,
cracker. You faster than me. Hold
no, no,
on.
no. I didn't. I didn't.
I've never eaten Texas Pete on a cracker. So cheers.
Cheers.
Mm,
Mm. That's
mm.
that's much better than Tabasco.
Right?
It is definitely it's like acidic. It has that acid, um, but it's not a sharp acid. It's kind of like, hey, ooh, you like a little sizzle, It's good like savoriness. Um, yeah, I like this, and I'm glad because I, I had to order a bunch of it to get this one bottle.
Yes, I had to get you two bottles.
Yeah.
But yeah, Texas Pete, when you like in the South, it has like a vinegar base to it, I feel like.
Uh,
And on like I love it when I go home and I get a barbecue sandwich, which y'all call over here pulled pork,
uh.
and it has barbecue and coleslaw, and you put that Texas Pete all over the top of it, and it's
Yes.
just like it's heaven.
I think the coleslaw would be like an amazing combination with Texas Pete. Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
yes, indeed.
well, Sharon, I love being the stinging kombucha hot sauce to your Texas Pete.
Yeah. Now my mouth is like this even kill. Like it's like refreshing. Like
Yeah, well,
oh, Duchess is looking for a
the
cracker.
crackers
Sorry.
help. Please check out Sharon's work. Sharon has her own Facebook page, Sharon Nyree Williams in Gonzo,
Gosh.
and she has her own live stream show. It's called Shaking Up. Uh, also, the Central District Forum for Arts and Ideas. A lot of amazing creativity as well as idea formation around arts. The intersection between arts and anti-racism, I think, happens there. Um,
Yes.
yeah. So,
And just a brief plug, we just today we're releasing a program by Brian Evans called Lopsided, and it's a series of 12 videos of poetry, music, and everything. He's an amazing artist. He just graduated from University of Washington master's program, and he's moving on from Seattle and going to Bates College and teach there as a
mm,
non-tenure track, but tenured okay, on the tenure track
sure.
professor. So yes, it's fire.
Nice.
It's fire,
You're fire,
no
Sharon.
doubt. You are fired.
Uh,
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Everyone at home, please take out your air horns. Let's send Sharon off. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Deuces.
Peace.
Stay safe, everyone.
Oh man, Sharon is awesome. Sharon is awesome. We are going to straight to a song here. All right, let's take these headphones off. Note to self: fix headphone situation. For all of those that are still here, thank you for being here. Well, of course you're still here because this is the stuff. If you have a cover request, there's something else that I would like to do on Cup of Joe is to cover your song requests. So this was requested by Mike Bennett, who's an awesome artist here in town, and I thought it made sense given that it's Pride Month. Check out my awesome rainbow socks. Yeah. Here we go, and this one's also for the kids, and I might, pardon me, I might be using a different voice here. And here we go. Happy Pride, everyone. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. Rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know that they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish will be heard and answered when wished on a morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed him. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing and keeps us stargazing? What do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell. We know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep? And have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Are these the sweet sounds that called the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da da, la da da, la da da, la da da da. Kermit Kermit did actually a recent version of that on YouTube, so you should go check it out. All right, did we have some requests? Well, there, you'll find a way to request songs. Please do so. And I'll cover it next week. Speaking of next week, next week's guest is Andrew Defy, who is the Sacramento Poet Laureate. He is also a organizer and really intentionally works to be an ally. So it'll be that's the theme for next week is allyship. What does that mean, and how can we do that? How can we do that well and intentionally? So please tune in for that. Once again, you can see right here. It's hard to stop using that voice after you use it once. The Venmo at Joe Kye, PayPal joe@joekye.com. Please give generously because your support will keep this program going. So if you enjoyed, please share. Let people know that this show is happening every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And of course, support in whatever way that you can. And I say thank you very much. All right, we have one last segment on this very first episode of Cup of Joe. Thank you, Sharon Nyree Williams, for being a guest. Thank you, all of you, for being part of the inaugural audience. What? Go, go, go. Dun, 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 dun. And speaking of dun, 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 we're going to do a dance party to close this out. So I know we're just sitting around. Let's not do that. Let's dance. I give you permission to dance this show to its completion. So here we go. What should we do here? Really love the feet cam. Louder please, I'm turned up all the way. Okay, here we go. Tom, for PayPal, you can also do to joe.kye@gmail.com, joe.kye@gmail.com. Yep, I'll do it right here. PayPal, joe.kye@gmail.com. Rainbow Connection. Avocado toast. Dancing in my kitchen. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'll see you next week, same time, 10 a.m. Tell a friend. Peace.